Hey guys, so today we're actually going to start our online learning reading with the PBIS book of the month. And I know you guys really love the PBIS books, and that's why I kind of wanted to start with something fun, something a little different, something that was not test prep because you guys have been working so hard on that. So the book that we're going to be working on is Last Stop on Market Street. And just by looking at the picture, I can already take a guess that the last stop on Market Street is probably the last bus stop. Because right here we have the bus, we have the bus sign that lets you know where to stand. So already I'm liking this book because, as you know, I too take the bus, and a lot of you guys take the bus, so this is something we can all kind of connect to. CJ pushed through the church doors and skipped down the steps. The outside air smelled like freedom, but it also smelled like rain, which freckled CJ's shirt and dripped down his nose. He ducked under Nana's umbrella, saying, "How come we gotta wait for the bus in all this wet?" "Trees get thirsty, too," his Nana told him. "Don't you see that big one drinking through a straw?" CJ looked for a long time, but he never saw the straw. From the bus stop, he watched water pool on flower petals, watched rain patter against the windshield of a nearby car. His friend Colby climbed in and gave CJ a wave and drove off with his dad. "Nana, how come we don't got a car?" "Boy, what do we need a car for? We got the bus that breathes fire and old man Dennis who always has a trick for you." The bus creaked to a stop in front of them. It sighed and sagged, and the doors swung open. "What's that I see?" Mr. Dennis asked. He pulled a coin from behind CJ's ear and placed it in his palm. Nana laughed her deep laugh and pushed CJ along. Kind of sounds like somebody in our class. A magician who was trying out for the talent show. They sat right up front. The man across the way was tuning a guitar. An old woman with curlers had butterflies in a jar. Nana gave everyone a great big smile and a good afternoon. She made sure CJ did the same. The bus lurched forward and stopped, lurched forward and stopped. Nana hummed as she knit. "How come we always gotta go here after church?" CJ asked. "Miguel and Colby never have to go nowhere." "I feel sorry for those boys," she told him. "They'll never get the chance to meet Bobo or the Sunglass Man, and I hear Trixie got herself a brand new hat." CJ stared out the window, feeling sorry for himself. He watched cars zip by on either side, watched as a group of boys hopped curbs on bikes. Why do you think he's feeling sorry for himself? I would say it's probably because he wishes they could drive and they didn't have to do the same thing on the bus over and over again. A man climbed aboard with a spotted dog. CJ gave up his seat. "How come that man can't see?" "Boy, what do you know about seeing?" Nana told him. "Some people watch the world with their ears." "That's a fact. Their noses, too," the man said, sniffing at the air. "That's a mighty fine perfume you're wearing today, ma'am." Nana squeezed the man's hand and laughed her deep laugh. Two older boys got on next. CJ watched as they moved on by and stood in the back. "Sure wish I had one of those," he said. Nana set down her knitting. "What for? You've got the real thing sitting live right across from you. Why don't you ask the man if he'll play us a song?" CJ didn't have to. The guitar player was already plucking strings and beginning to sing. "To feel the magic of music," the blind man whispered, "I like to close my eyes." Nana closed hers too. So did CJ and the spotted dog. So if you look close, the boys who went to the back both have iPods or some type of music player. So that's probably what CJ wishes he had. In the darkness, the rhythm lifted CJ out of the bus, out of the busy city. He saw sunset colors swirling over crashing waves. He saw a family of hawks slicing through the sky. He saw the old woman's butterflies dancing free in the light of the moon. CJ's chest grew full, and he was lost in the sound, and the sound gave him the feeling of magic. The song ended, and CJ opened his eyes. Everyone on the bus clapped, even the boys in the back. Nana glanced at the coin in CJ's palm. CJ dropped it in the man's hat. "Last stop on Market Street," Mr. Dennis called. CJ looked around as he stepped off the bus. Crumbing the sidewalks and broken down doors, graffiti tagged windows and boarded up stores. He reached for his Nana's hand. "How come it's always so dirty over here?" She smiled and pointed to the sky. "Sometimes when you're surrounded by dirt, CJ, you're a better witness for what is beautiful." CJ saw a perfect rainbow arching over the soup kitchen. He wondered how Nana always found beautiful wherever... I don't know what happened there. CJ saw the perfect arching rainbow over the soup kitchen. He wondered how his Nana always found beautiful where he never even thought to look. He looked all around them again, at the bus rounding the corner out of sight, and the broken street lamps still lit up bright, and the stray cat shadows moving across the wall. So if you're not sure, because I know this word might be new to some of you, soup kitchens are places where some people can go and get free soup or discounted meals, things like that. So it's where people can go when they need a little bit of help and they can get a meal, a nice warm meal to eat. When he spotted their familiar faces in the window, he said, "I'm glad we came." He thought his Nana might laugh, her deep laugh, but she didn't. She patted him on the head and told him, "Me too, CJ. Now come on." And if you look, CJ and Nana are all the way in the back over here. And they seem to be wearing some type of chef's hat. They seem to be helping out. So it looks like they do volunteer work at this community soup center. The end. So, looking at this book through a different light, so instead of just being the reader of the book, but also being somebody who's thinking about the lesson of the book, we're going to try and guess the PBIS Book of the Month idea, the theme behind the PBIS Book of the Month. So if we do a quick summary of this book, which was kind of written like a poem, but without any rhyming, that's called free verse poetry. We have a little boy who comes out of church. He gets on the bus with his grandma, and he wishes he had a car. And he sees people with things that he doesn't have. They're wearing their headphones. He doesn't have any. He wishes he could have it. And his grandma keeps telling him, instead of wishing, look around. You have some really beautiful things around you. And she names a couple of things. She names how the trees need water for drinking, so they should be happy that it's raining. She says that he doesn't need the car because they have a really great bus with a lot of great people on it. She says that he doesn't need those headphones or doesn't need to be able to see to appreciate things. And here's the headphone one with those boys that he wishes he could hang out with. And then at the end, Grandma tells him that you can actually find beauty in a lot of places. And he's surprised because when he looks up, he finds beauty where he didn't think to look before. So, what do you think the theme of this month is? And I'll give you about 10 seconds to kind of think about it. So, I would say that the theme that this book is showing us is to be grateful for what you have. I would say show gratitude for the things you don't have. Don't try and wish for things that other people have, because what you can have, what you do have in your life is just enough. So just be grateful for all of the things in your life. And the other thing that I noticed is that Grandma was really good, Nana was really good at finding the really beautiful things in life. So I would say that another theme could be that beauty is everywhere, even in the most unexpected places. And one of the main reasons I would say this is the theme is particularly because of the end. So this boy obviously doesn't really live in this neighborhood. He always says, oh, I don't know why we have to go here. I don't know why when all my friends just go straight home after church, I still have to come here. And at the end, there's this line. It says, when we spot the familiar faces in the window, I'm glad we came. I thought Nana might laugh her deep laugh, but she didn't. She patted him on the head and told him, me too, CJ. Now come on. So, I would say that all of a sudden he kind of learned a lesson. He learned that he should be really grateful, and looking around at this community of people, this huge community of people who are all here for the same reason, to get a bite to eat and to sit together and eat together. All of a sudden he's very grateful that he has this place in his life that he can go and volunteer in. So what you're going to do is I posted two different writing responses to this book. So you can pick from either of the two. I want you to kind of either look at some of the quotes and explain those quotes, or one of the other ones is a little different. And you're going to do the exact same thing as if we're going to be posting it on the bulletin board in the school. So you want to do your best work for this. And honestly, since we don't really have a bulletin board in the school anymore, what I might do is post your work on my wall, and I'll show you guys what our new bulletin board in my home will look like next time. So finish that lesson up, and please post it to me. I will put up a little document where you can type out your answers. Okay, guys? Thanks.